Good morning, you guys. How are you? I hope everybody is well. Today, we're definitely going to be getting a little deep with it because if you live long enough, somebody will hurt you intentionally or unintentionally. But today, I want to talk about when someone intentionally is hurting you know. And we'll call them a narcissist. We'll talk about when narcissists or narcissistic type people are hurting you. All right. Now, in order for these reasons to even connect with you, you have to understand that the world is not just three-dimensional, okay? It's not just the stuff that we're seeing and feeling. With narcissistic abuse and these type of people, you have to understand there's a spiritual element because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is very psychological and also spiritually rooted. Now, I'm not telling you this stuff to have you have empathy for them at all. I'm trying to empower your emotional maturity. Oh, thank you, Isaiah, for putting that ice in my drink. My son bought me a drink of not alcohol, but some juice. Not that I even had to clarify it, but whatever. But yeah, so let's dive into our emotional maturity, you guys. And I'm going to help you for those of you who are psychology junkies, just to understand, what's going on in these demonic people's minds. Like, why would someone do this? Because people could literally think, but why? I'm going to tell you why. And I started jotting down so many reasons, you guys, that I was like, I'm going to stop here. Maybe this will be like a continued discussion over time because there's a lot of reasons that we can come up with. But I've tried to at least come up with the big dogs. And then maybe stuff that you may not have considered as well. All right. So, and they're in no particular order, by the way. No particular order, just as I thought of them. But the number one reason, you guys, why someone would go out of the way. Let me go ahead and just mute my phone. I don't know why I didn't do this. Even though they give little confirmations. Hey, Cynthia, Ava. Someone hopped in, says my ex goes out of his way to hurt me, so sick. It is. And that's something to definitely keep in mind. There's a sickness here. A soul sickness, as a matter of fact. These people's souls are very sick, and chances are this happened long before they've crossed your path. Something happened to them, and instead of fighting for themselves, they allowed themselves to become vessels of darkness. And when a vessel of darkness can get inside of you, they can have you do evil things on the behalf of, Satan or Shaitan or whoever you want to call them, the devil. And that's why, they're able to use like a robot at that point. So let's go ahead and get into my list, you guys. And God bless you, because when, some of these things can be quite dramatic, quite extreme, very unnecessary, because they don't know how to balance in life. It's an overkill a lot of times. It's like you don't even have to do all of that type of shit going on with these type of people. And uncaused for and unjust, But that, again, doesn't make you anybody's victim. Someone victimized you or tried to victimize you, but it doesn't make you nobody's victim. It's just very unjust. All right. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the list. The first thing that popped to my mind when I thought about why people will go out of the way to hurt you and why chosen ones are so attacked. And this is especially if you already had a relationship with this person, they don't think you're suffering enough. Whatever harm that they tried to invoke on your life, it didn't penetrate you enough, or if it knocked you down, you got back up. So if they don't feel like you're suffering enough, they're going to go out of their way to harm you some more. Let me strike this person harder. So sometimes it's just not enough. And that's the pure sadistic nature of this personality profile, where they get off on seeing people suffering. Mm-hmm. The next thing, you guys, is they wanted to knock you down a peg. You know, people's perceptions become their reality. And a lot of times with narcissists, they are, you know, living in their own illusions and delusions to protect their own psychological, what they think is protecting the balance in their own psyche, so that they will be seen the way that they want to be seen, or so that other people can see them the way that they want to be seen. But if you just so happen to actually see them, you're causing narcissistic injury, you're slighting them, or just by standing up for yourself or having a healthy boundary, just by speaking truth. You know, these aren't even things that are really personal to them. It just is what it is. But either way, this person becomes very bothered. And it could even just be something where they just feel like you have a good life compared to theirs. You know, they're very jealous people. They're very envious. And they covet the peace that you have, even if they have more money than you, or even if something in their life, in your perception, because they're not walking in gratitude, they can't even see their blessings. They're too busy, you know, comparing themselves to other people's journeys and lanes, when that doesn't make sense. Because whatever God has, you know, put to the side, whatever experiences or blessings, hardships, whatever, you know, he predetermined for your life, pretty much, that's what you're going to have. So comparing yourself to somebody else's lane is just ass backwards, because whatever is for you is for you, and what's not is not. But either way, they'll want to knock you down a peg. This person is too happy. This person is full of themselves, and you might not be egotistical. You don't even have to actually, like I said, their perception becomes their reality. Oh, this person, they think they're too good for me. Yeah, you might actually be too good for them. People, you know, sometimes toxic empaths are a little bit too humble, you know, and I wanted to point that out in my last video when I talked about when a narcissist doesn't see your true worth. But I was really talking about from the narcissist point of view. But if I were to make a video from your perspective or on your end, why other people aren't seeing your worth is by downplaying yourself so much, hiding parts of yourself, allowing other people to take credit for, you know, your gifts and your lights, or giving people credit where they didn't really deserve it, just out of your own love and kindness, and is boosting up their ego, which is making them put even more of a shadow or a dimness on you. Like you're actually helping them not see your worth, even though they weren't going to truly see it properly anyway, but you're helping to distort it that much further, you know? But yeah, this person feels like, oh, they really think they're too good for me. Yeah, you are actually. It will become a part in your life when you learn the lessons that you should in this relationship. You'll both begin to see each other a certain way. And that's another reason why they would want to harm you. Like, how dare you put a mirror to my face? How dare you shame me or guilt me? This is something that they might be feeling privately that they will not share with the other people that are not sure what's going on, or may even be figuring it out. Who knows? But either way, they're always working to psychologically protect the veil and the image and how they want to see themselves, because they don't want to take accountability and face things. So by you calling them out and making these healthy boundaries, oh, really? You're going to do that to me? I'm going to knock you down a peg. I'm going to knock you off your little pedestal. You know, they may not like how other people like you for you naturally, for your natural goodness, or for your natural contributions, for your natural gifts. Notice I'm saying natural, like you're not people pleasing. You're not looking, and these things are just naturally coming to you because you reap what you sow. But they don't care about what's honest. They're caring more about manipulation and control at all times. And if they want what you have, or if they might even want to be you, honestly, and that's another reason why they would try to harm you. If you've had, especially, you'll see this in friendships, and you can even see this with your spouse that turns, you know, that begins to be in competition with you unnecessarily. Why? Because With a spouse, they're not viewing the marriage, they're not viewing the union as a partnership. They're not coming into things in a healthy manner. And there's confirmation, even though I'm going to silence, I have multiple phones. Even though I'm going to silence this, they're not actually going into that union with a healthy mindset anyway. So when you start flourishing and taking off, they're not going to think, oh my God, I'm so proud of my spouse. Like, whoa. And understanding energy, like, man, I'm close to this beautiful energy. So I get to benefit from it, and it can lift me up, and they start benefiting from that, but they start resenting it because it's not coming from them. Instead of, they would have the mentor, but end up resenting the mentor. It's like, okay, the mentor just taught me all of this stuff. I'm going to take the knowledge, but now I'm going to strike you down and pretend like it was my knowledge so I can get it's all about boosting their ego up and boosting their image by any means necessary. And that's crazy, right? Like, whoa. It's like taking somebody when they homeless, you took them in, you fed them, you cleaned them up, gave them a roof. You filled out job applications, maybe doing too much for the person, but whatever. You did all this stuff, got them strong. Now they're like they done did a 180. You think they would give you the thanks for that? Instead, now they need to get rid of you because you make them, you're reminding them of where they were at that point, And when you make those healthy boundaries and you break away, both of you begin to see what's going on in this process. You see how this person was so unworthy and should not have even been at your table. And they see furthermore how light you are and how protected you are as well. I'm just looking at the comments real quick. Cynthia Ava says he will go on a whole exotic vacation with his new supply to a place I love and always wanted to return to. So yeah, you can see that through the manipulation of that. So he's using triangulation to punish you, and he's hoping that you're watching, and he's hoping that that's going to make you feel some type of way. The whole thing is, you didn't need him to go on that exotic vacation to begin with. And after you found out how this person was abusing you, you'd rather go with someone else anyway. So it lets you know that he's more stuck on you, actually, that he needs to actually even try to triangulate you, that he's vested in trying to, pull you down energetically or make you feel jealous. And it could be a Hoover too. Maybe in some sick way, thinking that you'll try to return to that. But that should actually just reinforce it, that someone was capable of giving you something, but withholding. And that's another part of the reason why a narcissist will go out of the way of harming you. It's an extreme notification to you, or extreme way to validate how this person is withholding from you, how this person has a disdain for you, how this person dislikes you, hates you, resents you. Like, you have to start seeing that part of it. Someone's going out of their way to harm you, they're doing it on purpose. I don't care what mental diagnosis they have. I don't care what type of dark magic someone else might have did. I don't care how many demons are inside of them. They did it. And that has to begin to be enough. They did it though. They felt comfortable enough. They were dark enough. They were low vibrational enough. The love was void enough. So Cynthia says, he asked me where I'd like to travel. I said Barcelona. Well, he met his new girlfriend there, and they had a 2-week vacation. Right. And that's him actually still trying to dabble into your energy, and maybe because you won't go with him, the only way he could be picturing her face, your face on her face. Like, it's sick. It's kind of sick. It's a way for him to actually even stay inside of your energy. And it lets you know that he hasn't let go of you for him to do that. Cynthia says, I found it so easy to trigger him. Right. And he could be a lower range narcissist too. They're very simple-minded. Sanju Patience says you're absolutely right about the ego and the ungratefulness, right? Very ungrateful. Like you'll feel like your love, your charity, your thoughtfulness, your consideration, you sharing your abundance, love, and light with them, you'll feel like it's in vain. And I don't want you to feel that way because it will come back, but it won't come back from them. You know, understand when you put out good energy, it will come back. And this is just a sidebar, not to digress from the topic of, you know, we're going to get back into it because I barely scratched the surface here. But don't you ever feel like your love and light, your sincere deposits of love and light into someone else is in vain. It's not. It was in vain for them. But God sees everything. You know, he sees everything. And it will balance itself out, but it will come from another direction. So, which is a great thing because, man, it would definitely be in vain if it had to come from them. You know, it's a good thing that the way that these spiritual laws work of give and take, gain and loss, you know, it doesn't have to come. Energy is transferable. It's going to come back from somewhere else. Okay. So don't even feel like it. Just know it's going to come from somewhere else if you allow it to. If you allow it to. Cynthia Ava says he has been doing this for years. I left that relationship in 2017. Yeah. Are you still looking back on him since 2017, Cynthia? I hope not. I hope not. Oh, she said it's my daughter's father. Okay. So yeah, I guess if you guys have a minor child, you know, he'll be in your peripheral somehow. And you know, if you're spending time with the child you guys have, I understand. So let's get back to the list, you guys. Why do narcissists go out of the way to harm you? Another reason is because they felt inferior and insecure, you know. And this happens when you get in these unequally yoked situations, if you're willing to build people up in a certain way. But the whole thing is you can't build their character up and you can't build their morals up. It's another thing like, man, I got with this person, we've started making money together. But if they're a shady business partner, if they have other things with them, you're just not going to be able to build that up. You know, you're building on sand at that point. But yeah, because they felt inferior to you for some reason, and that's because obviously you're of the light and they're not. They know it. They know it before you know it because they're coming in with their negative intentions. And that will make them feel insecure, whether they ever admit that to you or not. Don't ever look for them to validate these things, but you'll know in your emotional maturity and in your common sense. Another reason why narcissists will go out of the way to harm you is to cause issue where there isn't one. Yeah. And that's going to sound crazy, right? Some people really don't want a peaceful relationship. All they know how to thrive in is dysfunction and chaos. So the best way to do it is to cause harm, to start, you know, I'm trying to think of the sayings that people say, ruffle the feathers, you know, just put a rip in things. But yeah, to cause issues where there isn't one. And that's just them liking to thrive out of toxicity and drama. Now, this is really sick and sad, actually, but another reason why narcissists will go out of the way to harm you and why chosen ones get attacked is that's the only way they feel like they can get one up on you. So now you're getting to see how these people think. To them, this is winning. You know, I'm actually getting one up on you. They're not thinking of the spiritual laws. They're not thinking about God. You know, they're not thinking about negative karma that they're bringing on themselves, their family, and their bloodline. But it's because it's the only way they feel like they can get one up on you when they're actually going down. Isn't it? It's just a sick way of thinking. I can get one up on you by causing harm to you. So this is more like a tit for tat. So this clearly, you know, reinforces the fact that you caused some type of narcissistic injury, directly or indirectly, or because you made them feel guilt or shame because they felt inferior or insecure. So this is the way to get one up on you. I'll show you. I'll do something to hurt your life. or to cause a delay for you or to destroy an opportunity for you. And along those lines, this is a way for them to feel bigger. So while they're feeling like, keyword, they're feeling like they're getting one up on you, is also going to make them feel bigger than you. So now I feel stronger than you because I'm able to strike you down. So to the way that they see strength and weakness is completely ass backwards. It actually takes a pretty strong person not to go into their lower range of human behaviors and give in to their shadow side and go down there and wrestle with them or be tit for tat and do the dumb petty shit back. It actually takes strength to walk that path. To them, you're stronger when you can throw the first blow even when you didn't need to, when you can obliterate someone that you didn't need to, you know, when you exert energy that you didn't need to, especially negative dark energy, when you cause a war when there wasn't even a fight, because it's all in their head at that point. When we were talking about the themes of them being in competition with you, them resenting you, them being jealous and envious of you. Absolutely. So now I feel bigger than you because, you know, I was able to disrupt something in your life. I was able to end something for you. I was able to cause you some emotional pain. You caused me emotional pain. I'm going to cause you more emotional pain. But did you cause them emotional pain, or did they cause themselves emotional pain? You know, this is yet again about them not taking the accountability. Is it my fault that you see me leading my life more righteously and more morally and more with greater character, that made you feel some way about yourself? Is it my fault that I made different choices in my life to end in a certain spot when you didn't make better choices in your life? Is that my fault? Like, you weren't even with them while they were making these choices. So when someone feels smaller than you and they're a narcissist, they don't want that reminder around. They want to get rid of you, you know, and they're looking for this cheap ego boost. It's very shallow, but this is what's going on. They're getting a little cheap ego boost. And the more lower range thinking they are, they don't understand that this comes back to bite them in the behind, because they're running off of these negative emotions and they're not really thinking things through. And, you know, they're breaking all type of spiritual laws here. They have no remorse. They're not thinking about the real things that they should be thinking about. They're too shallow. How other people seeing you? How's God seeing you, bitch? That's the person. Do you know who you really have to answer to? Do you know who you really have to answer to? They don't. They don't. So this sadistic, cold-hearted, bitchy manner, you know, this is what's going on. Another reason, you guys, why narcissists will go out of the way to hurt you and why chosen ones are attacked, they want to do a bait and switch. You know, they want to snatch your security away from you. They want to try to disrupt, you know, whatever it's in their mind is helping you win. So if you have a successful business, if you have a peaceful family life, whatever it is, they're trying to bait and switch anyway. So this is a little bit layered. So the bait and switch is, I want to switch you down to the negative feelings that I have. That's number one. But number two, they might even want to take your place. They might even be trying to take your place. And once they take your place, they definitely don't want you anywhere near, because they can't be you if you're still you. Like, I need to change you. I need you to be messed up now. I need your mind to be all scrambled. I need you to be off your game. I need your energy to be low vibrational. I need to bait and switch you so that I can assume I can step into your role. You can see this in a job situation. You can see this with a friend that's jealous of your success and wants to be you. They secretly, they admire you. You inspire them. But what will they do with that admiration and that inspiration? The most darkest, devilish stuff. Like, think about Selena and that bitch that killed her. That bitch was so jealous of Selena. And she came with a smile, right? And this is why I talked about in the other live chats. Don't be gullible, you guys. The devil isn't going to come red with a pitchfork and a silly tail and horns. You know, maybe if you have some type of, I can't use the word right now. You have some type of psychic abilities, you might be able to see these forms in them at certain times because they kind of peek out. You'll see it because I've seen it in someone before, here and there. But either way, they come presenting as a friend. They come as, you know, someone trying to be helpful, someone that's, you know, lifting you up initially, and that's what we call the love bomb. But deep down inside, there's a hate, there's an envy, there's a jealousy. Selena was so fucking beautiful. I just wish there was more discernment about the people she had around her. And she started to see it, but it was a little bit, you know, once she's seen it, her reaction needed to be more severe. But yeah, these people want to bait and switch. You know, they want your life. They secretly want your happiness. These people are miserable. Them demons are eating their asses up, and who knows how long they've been doing that to them. They're miserable. So that's why they're energy vampires at the same token, trying to suck in. And these are shallow ways to deal with it. They're trying to put a Band-Aid over something much deeper. Like them being an energy vampire, that's not what's gonna help you, honey. You really need a detox. Okay? You really need a detox. So, and psychologically, they're hurting you because it's just radiating the energy they're in. They're fighting healing. They're blocking blessings. They're rejecting love. Like, you know, they're very self-sabotaging anyway by nature. Very self-sabotaging of the light. They want it so bad, but they don't want it in the right way, and they don't want to use the light in the right way. They want to try to shallowly uplift themselves and then destroy the very light that was helping their asses. It's just horrible. Cynthia says, yes, it is always about winning. You are so right. Yeah. I have several narcs in my family, and they're all about winning. Also, none of them believe in God. Yeah, because you can't. You can't. That's the beautiful thing about believing in God. It gives you accountability. So I don't care how religious they try to come off to, you can't believe in God and conduct your life that way. And then again, it's this skewed rational, and like the way that they're seeing winning, what winning represents to them. Just like what I talked about with strength and weakness, how they view those things and how skewed that is, and ass backwards pretty much. Now, this is real cocky, what I'm about to say. Another reason why a narcissist may go out of way to hurt you and chosen ones are attacked to expose themselves is the big reveal. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They could be planning this for the longest time. Like, and it'll get to a point where they know you're on to them. They have nothing to lose. The mask has dropped. You figured them out. So who cares? I'm going to expose myself. I might as well go in for the gusto now. You know, that's like on the most shallowest end. These are situations where, let's say a guy tried to get a girl's phone number and she says no. So that sheer rejection, the sheer rejection that he's feeling, make him say, well, fuck you, bitch. He's like, I have nothing to lose. I don't have a chance with her, you know, in their mind. So, or it could even be this breadcrumbing thing where they've been pretending like they were your friend, and then they waited for the most opportune time to let you down, to strike you, to harm you, because that was their intentions the whole time. They were just waiting for what they felt like would be the best moment to get the bang for their bucks, where they could see you cry, where they could see you have a meltdown, where they could see your life fall down. They're waiting for the best time to do that. So another reason why narcissists go out of the way to hurt you and why chosen ones get attacked, they're trying to attack any perceived weaknesses you have as well. They're not just attacking your strengths. You know, it's actually, if you think about it logically, it's harder to attack someone's strength because that's their strength. they're more likely to, rebound from that. But if I know your weakness and I attack that, that will actually be probably easier and more potent if you think about it, because this person is already struggling in this area. So if you think psychologically, if you have abandonment issues, if you have rejection issues, if you have any addictions, they're going to feed it. They're going to attack that. They're going to encourage it because it's weakening you spiritually. And once you're spiritually weak and they attack you, it's going to be harder for you to fight that and defend yourself, right? And they can get you into a certain energy or pull you further down to their world. So yeah, they want to attack your perceived weaknesses as well. So don't just think people are going after your strengths. The easiest thing is to attack your weakness, honestly. And I wrote down this, and it kind of coincides with exposing themselves, because if it's going to end anyway, oh, well, fuck it. Yeah, it's like, well, it's going to end anyway. Why do I have to, I might as well strike as hard as I can. I may not have another opportunity to be this close to them. It's really sad and sick, but you know what? It's a real thing. Another reason why narcissists go out of the way to hurt you and why chosen ones get attacked, they convince themselves that you deserved it. Of course. Of course. You deserve it if you put a mirror in front of my face. You deserve it if you make me feel insecure. And it's also shifting the blame. Like, am I responsible for you feeling insecure? Am I responsible for your happiness? Am I responsible for your shame and guilt? So they're not taking the accountability. They're going to dump it on you. So now that justifies a punishment and them convincing themselves that you deserve it anyway. Another reason why narcissists go out of the way to hurt you and chosen ones attack you is, of course, I kind of was talking about it earlier, but notorious fuck-ups. They're remedial. They're emotionally immature. They don't want to make the sacrifices to better themselves, and they work against you. They work against themselves too, honestly. If they were to keep it real, they're working against themselves. Of course, they're going to attack you guys to keep up an image. They're attacking you because they've lost their way. And that's why I talked about the soul sickness in the beginning. They lost their way, but they're not trying to find their way either. Because you were some type of catalyst to them. Maybe you made them see themselves in a clearer way than anyone else has. And that clear way isn't going to make them feel good about themselves. They're a catalyst for you, and you're a catalyst for them. But, the way you guys react to the catalyst could be completely polar opposite. You might take it, learn your lesson about shady people, evilness, and be able to guard yourself better in the future. And then they take it and they go further into their shadow side to work harder to hide it. And now they need to feel like they need to obliterate you because or you might expose them. So it's not leveling them up like, damn, I don't want to feel like this. I want to be better than this. No, I need to hide it. I need to get better at being this way. So it's the complete polar opposite, like I said. They might also go out of the way to hurt you because they want to be celebrated. And they feel like knocking you down, hurting you, getting you out of the way will somehow lead to a celebration for them. And this works when they're trying to take your place, when they're trying to play victim and they're covertly doing shit behind the scenes. The people around them don't even know, like, yo, this is Satan's child, firstborn. So this is messed up, but narcissists go out of their way to hurt you and chosen ones because you're still in their way somehow. You're still in their way. And this could be a situation, especially with slander, you guys, when this person is saying you ain't shit, you're broke, you're dirty, you're raggedy, you're a whore, you're this, you're that. Like, this person is running your name to the ground, but yet people could obviously see you're none of that shit. They're like, damn, what can I do to make what I'm saying look a little believable at this point? Like, I done said all this shit. Nothing the way this person conducts their life, like, it's clearly anyone with common sense can see that these are lies. This is when the person will want to go out of the way to hurt you, find a way to hurt you, to hurt your image, so that it can be in alignment with what they're saying. Or if they can hurt you and get a reaction out of you that will help, they need a crumb. They need some type of evidence so that you'll look the way that they say you look, or the way their image of you, which makes them look right, or which justifies their poor behavior, or, however they have treated you or abused you. So you're still in the way somehow, It's hard for them to take your place if you're still owning your place. Like, you're still in your lane. You're still pushing forward. You might even be doing better now. It's hard for them to copy. It's hard for them to step in your place. It's hard for them. I mean, they can still talk the shit, but it just will make them look crazy at that point, because nothing you're doing is giving them the satisfaction. It's not. You're who you are. But they're delusional, because you're who you are any fucking way. If that's not who you really are, what do you think is going to happen over time? You're not going to just become that because you're saying it. Some of them dabble a little bit in dark magic, and they think they can manifest after just speaking shit on you. You can't, because if God has made this person that way, if God has already spoken and gave this person their gifts, no amount of fucking words you can say, bitch, that could change that. Like, you just can't, they're trying to play God. And that's another reason why a narcissist will go out of the way to hurt you. And the chosen ones, they're playing God for the devil, which is very scary to me. There's no way on earth, and this is someone who believes in God, that I would ever call myself trying to play God in anybody's life. Absolutely not. There's a fear for me. There is a fear, because I know I'm going to have to answer for that sooner or later. Sometimes it's sooner than later. But it's no way. But their egos, make them think they're God's gift. And then they start thinking they are gods. All right. Of course, this person would go out of the way to hurt you if they're holding grudges. And these grudges can be very weird and odd. And grudges in their head, like I said, a lot of this stuff is just in their head and in their toxic perceptions. Like, you're just minding your business and living your life, and you don't even know, just by you doing that is causing this disruption inside of them. And instead of them sitting with that and saying, like, why does it bother me? It's because you want to be more like that. But instead of challenging themselves to be better, they want to strike you down for that, because they don't believe they can be better. They don't really have the courage, and they don't want to do the work and take the accountability. So they'll definitely want to hurt you if they think it will increase them. Just like I said about being celebrated, but if hurting you increases them in some type of way, they're going to do it. And in their mind, they're making a head over heart decision. And we'll use the word heart very loosely here, because their hearts are cold. All right. And they may have this predatory way of, it's you or me. They'll assume that you will retaliate, or they're assuming that you're going to harm them. So it's like, well, I'm going to harm you first, because they would do it, because they would do these things, or they know that you can do these things. They're not that stupid. They know they were abusing you. They might have done some criminal shit to you. They know that you can do these things. So they're just trying to get ahead of shit. Well, let me attack them before they attack me. So it's like, it's you or me at that point. Sometimes they hurt you because it's the only way to get your attention. You may be so no contact with them that they're acting out in this way to where it's like, yeah, It's like a very toxic toddler at that point. And toddlers aren't toxic, but just think of the narcissist. I'm using that word for them because, toddlers can be known to throw tantrum, but toddlers are not toxic. They're just immature, rightfully so, because their brains aren't even 1% developed. But moving right along is the only way to get your attention. They think at this point, by doing more and more stuff, that it will be the only way that they can get your attention. Because otherwise, you may not be even checking for them. So they'll take the negative supply if you offer it. All right. Now, this is messed up. And this also speaks to the polar opposites and their ass backwards way of thinking. They're trying to prove they're the strongest when they are the weakest. And like I said, it takes a lot more strength to be righteous, to have self-control. But yeah, their idea of what strong and weakness is. To get rid of evidence is another reason why they might try to hurt you. And that's crazy because they're actually just creating more evidence. Like, a lot of this is insanity. And that's why I'm saying this person is not well. All right. This person is not psychologically well, minimally. I mean, we can add more stuff to the list, but minimally, this person is not psychologically well. So for them, they could be trying to get rid of an evidence. This is why someone would kill somebody, right? But now they've committed first-degree murder, right? I'm just giving you a for instance here. And in another way, if they can obliterate you, now only their story will be the only story left to tell. If they can quiet you or shut you up or get you out of the picture or far away, now they can pretend like it came from them. The light came from them. The ideas came from them. Whatever you were contributing, now they could take credit for all of that because they found a way to shut you up, to get you out of the way, to do something so that they could pretend like it came from them. So a way of getting rid of the evidence here. And this person has a heart of stone. And in this way, they may be trying to create a new self. And like I've been talking about, someone trying to step into your shoes and take your place. But it's all ass backwards because your gifts are your gifts, just like their gifts are their gifts, even if they use their gifts for harm. They could be taking something that could be used in a more beautiful light and just being completely demonic with it. Yeah, Sanja Pajan says God means consequences. Absolutely. Yes, there are consequences. Don't think that they don't have them just because you don't see them. And you have to think about the source. They work hard to cover things, and they're trying hard to detach from reality anyway, so they can be receiving karma left and right. But what would they be doing? They would be blaming it on other people. It wouldn't be this light bulb circle like, wait a minute, I'm getting fucked up right now because of what I did. This is a cause and effect. Or I did this to other people and now it's happening to me 10 times worse. There's no connection with that because they've already made it your fault. So all of these things that I'm telling you about, the way that they're processing, and justifying their behaviors, it's all connected. Sanju Pajan says, go as far away from bad people as possible. Right. But in this world, it's impossible, but yeah, you can get away as far as you can. The main thing, Sanju, is to be able to recognize it and not be confused. See, once you mistake that bad person for a good person, now you are in a tricky situation. But if you're at least able to acknowledge who this person is, you'll be prepared, hopefully in your emotional maturity. You'll know how to guard yourself from the energy. That's the main thing, because they're all around us one way or another. But if you become better at protecting yourself. And then, of course, a part of that is being able to recognize the negativity, the dark energy, hopefully from a mile away. you know, and having better boundaries that would kind of at least make them have to work harder in a certain way. And they might not even want to work that hard because there's too many other easier targets. You know what I mean? But when you have the appropriate boundaries, they may not even want to work that hard. That's why a woman with good boundaries, she may actually be able to weed out a player because he might not want to work that hard, you know, unless he really wants it that bad. But there's ways to find out if you're discerning things. And if you're a spiritual person, you should be taking every person in your life to God. Ask me, show me what I need to see. You know, I'm taking a liking to this person. Is there anything I'm missing? Show me what I need to see about this person. And then believe it when he gives you these signs, you know. But you have to be willing to be in reality and not in whatever box or whatever you are hoping this relationship is. Because a toxic empath, they'll let their desires start blinding their vision. And then the red flags are getting minimized or not even being seen at that point because they want what they want so badly. Don't be that type of person. All you need to want in this earth, in this world, is to see the truth and trust yourself to be able to handle the truth and be thankful that you know it, even if it disappoints an intention that you want it to have on something. It just means that you can still have your intention, just not with that person. You know, like toxic empaths, they get too wrapped up on wanting it to be forced on one particular person when there's billions of people. Like, you don't have to give up on love, but yeah, give up on it with that person. You can still love, you just don't be loving them because they can't receive it, they can't reciprocate it. Like, don't make it harder. Like, life can be a lot more simpler. It could be a lot more simpler if you learn how to view things in a healthy manner that will not keep you stuck in a toxic situation. Cynthia Ava says, yes, I stay away from them as much as I possibly can while trying not to deregulate them, right? Or basically draw them near. Because I've been talking about that a lot in my videos. I don't know which live chat we were talking about. Maybe it was getting over breakups or letting go somehow. And I was suggesting that you just always keep in mind about not drawing them near, you know, and don't let your human emotions and your ego get in the way of you doing that. Because when you go to argue them, you go to call them out on stuff, you're drawing them there. Because now you got my attention. Now you really got my attention because you're exposing me clear as day. And now I really want to obliterate you because I have a fear that you're going to expose me to other people versus, you know, gray rocking in situations where you have to interact or going no contact where you can. Cynthia says, once you learn about narcissism and educate yourself, things change dramatically. Yes, you recognize the dark energy. Yeah. Sanju Patient says, kids can easily tell when someone is bad. Yeah, a lot of times they can. A lot of times they actually can because they're actually closer to the veil, especially toddlers and stuff. But, you know, you got to take that with a grain of salt as well, because even children can be manipulated, you know? Like, everyone knows, like, about the person who tries to steal kids with puppies and lollipops and ice cream because they know that's a weakness or a blind spot for typical child. And that's why we have to teach them emotional maturity. But yeah, they may not always be able to tell, especially when they get blinded by their own desires, because we're all human, you know? So another reason, you guys, why narcissists go out of the way to hurt you and chosen ones are attacked. They feel like they deserve something more than you do. Ain't that crazy? You could have it could be your life's work, or you could have built something from the ground. You could have really paid your dues on something and earned it the long way, the hard way, the righteous way. But they could come in your life and feel like they deserve something more than you, you know? And this could go for anything. They deserve that new car. They deserve the new house. They deserve a spouse. They deserve your spouse when they're trying to take it from you. You know, like they deserve your friends and family. They deserve your business. They could feel, and this is without any type of merit. And that's why I just have to use the word feel, because we didn't, they ain't earn it. They don't deserve it. But for some reason, they want to be completely blind to your investments, to your sweat equity, to your hard work, to, whatever prices you paid, because maybe your life wasn't sweet. You went through all of this for all of this time, and then finally you broke through the glass ceiling, or finally you had your breakthrough. And now here's this person that thinks they feel like they deserve something more than you when they ain't work for shit. Just out of pure jealousy and envy. And instead of, how did you get here? Maybe I could take some notes. Maybe it can help me progress. Instead, I want to snatch it from you. I want to destroy it. I want to hurt what you have because I don't have it. I feel I deserve it. Instead of trying to get it for myself righteously, I'm just going to try to mess yours up or steal it from you. Yeah. So, and then it could be layered, you guys. They get, and think about what I've been telling you, they're getting more bang for their buck. If they can hurt you and you can know it's intentionally, it feels like they're punching you on both sides. They punch you on the right, and then they punched you on the left. Like, bam, I hurt you. And now I intentionally did it. That's when someone's trying to squash you emotionally and psychologically, trying to obliterate you, trying to, oh, you ain't going to believe in love now. Like, because they don't believe in it anymore. So, that's horrible. It's like a 1-2, two birds with one stone. Yeah, now let me see how happy they are now. It's very sadistic. And like I said, you may have awakened them on some level. And it's like, how dare you? Because they're not really trying to evolve. They're trying to get craftier at being unevolved. And that's the one for them. Now this is sick. This is sick. A narcissist might try to hurt you, and chosen ones get attacked because they're actually trying to rinse off their muddiness, their dirt, their darkness. But they're doing it by doing more darkness. Like, that's the insanity of it. And remember, I talked about like getting rid of evidence, quieting you, getting you out of the way. This is making them clean because I don't have anyone to out me. I don't have evidence of my filth. I don't have evidence of my abuse. I've got this person in submission or whatever. They're not really trying to do it, but how are you going to clean your muddiness with more mud? You're never going to get clean that way. And that's why their soul, you guys, is so sick. And by covering it up, they could pretend like it didn't happen. That's a part of psychologically, projecting and dumping. Yeah. They could pretend like it didn't happen. Ooh, child. Dang, did I really take damn near an hour? Whoa. An hour, you guys, talking about why people do fucked up stuff to others. The whole thing is to vet people better, believe people the first time they show you who they are, and have the proper boundaries with people to begin with. And when something doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. And don't operate out of a lack mentality, because when you're operating in abundance, it'll be easy for you to let people go because you won't be so vested in it needing to be them. You'll know there's something better for you, something more compatible. But in life, you're only going to get what you accept, because as an adult, you get to choose your friends. You get to choose your spouse. You even get to choose where you work. Honestly, you have a lot of choices. You have some free will. You have some free will. But if you're not increasing your emotional maturity and you're an empath, you're going to feel like all of your beautiful empathic gifts are a curse to you because they're going to be constantly being exploited and abused by your enemy, which are people that are narcissists, people who are on that scale, sociopaths, psychopaths, and everything in between. All right. If you have been hurt by a narcissist, you guys, make sure you're doing the work. There is a grieving process that you should allow yourself to go through. You know, a counselor can help you do this. Or you can, look, there's a lot of help out here, just at your fingertip with Google. But you want to get to a point of releasing, or you want to get to a point in your healing process where it's not to your detriment. Like, we're all human. Now, unless you have dementia, or you didn't smoke that much weed, where your memory is that jacked. And then there's some things in psychology where you do just actually forget stuff that has happened to you, especially traumatic things. Like psychologically, your brain, like you're trying to keep yourself safe. That's how sometimes when people get raped, which can I even say that word on YouTube? People say grape. When people get raped, they may not recall some of the things that happened because they froze. You know, when you're psychologically, when your brain is trying to psychologically keep you safe, you will fight, you will flight, or you will freeze. And your brain will actually choose that for you. And I believe it chooses it based off of what it thinks your capabilities are. If you psychologically and your subconscious feels like you could fight, your brain will allow you to try to fight that situation. If it feels like, okay, I can't fight, but I can run away, it will allow you to run away. But if it feels like a little more helpless, you'll end up freezing. And that's a way of your brain feeling like it's protecting you in that situation. And all mammals do this. And this is why deers and squirrels and even cats, you know, they're running into the street and they see the car coming and they don't stop. They keep running. They could stop and back away. They just keep running. Or they might freeze. You know, they tried to flight when they kept running, but if they freeze, like stop in the middle and you don't stop and you end up hitting them, you know, not on purpose, but it can happen. They froze. Their brain chose to freeze. So it's important that you get the help that you need, because you don't have to be defined by abuse, because these are experiences. But sometimes, because I've talked to a lot of survivors through the year, they take the abuse and they make it so entrenched in their story. You know, maybe that was a chapter. And maybe it wasn't even so much to be a chapter. It was an incident, you know. But you have to mind the story that you're telling yourself. But at least if you're making it a certain part of your story, because it did happen to you, let the story progress. You know, don't stay stuck, because that's what the narcissist did. They stayed stuck in some type of abuse. They stayed stuck and they got swallowed by it, and they gave up on themselves, and they allow their vessels to be filled with that darkness. And then now God can still use them. That's the crazy part. They can be just as toxic as they are, but God is still using them to help people of the light get sharpened. And that's how he'll let you go through the experience. And it's a difference between bumping your knee and losing your knee. Yes, you bumped your knee in that experience with them, but you still have your knee. You can still use your knee. Your knee will heal. Maybe you might have a little scar where you'll remember what happened, but the scar healed. But that's the whole thing. You need to remember it, but remember it through a healed version of yourself, not through a triggered, you know, a victimized mentality type of energy that's going to just make you not only attached to more of that energy, but repeat these cycles. So doing the work so that you can get healed, saving yourself, that's going to be important. But having realistic expectation of what that looks like. The goal isn't to forget it ever happened. Although it could be a situation, you know, over time it gets smaller and smaller, which is beautiful. That means you're really disconnecting from it, hopefully in a healthy way. Not disconnecting like it never happened, but disconnecting because you found a healthy way to get through the grieving process and take the lessons. Because if you're disconnecting in a way where you're acting like it didn't happen, you don't want to take nothing from it. Like, you don't want to find anything positive about it. Okay, well, this situation let me see that I had weaker boundaries in this, that area. Okay, I can't be skipping these steps with people. You know, it should be having some type of self-awareness and self-reflection so that you can get better at protecting yourself. Because these people aren't going anywhere and they're getting craftier. Why do you think banks have to get even more craftier with recognizing fake money and dealing with ATMs? And they have to, because they're getting craftier on how to crack these codes and how to sneak and manipulate and be fraudulent. So they have to try to keep up with that. So that's why you can't keep your emotional maturity where it is. You have to keep working on it. You have to, because new levels, new devil. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, because you'll defeat that narcissist and they'll be like, okay, so those type of narcissists won't work. But the energy can get greater. They'll send somebody a little bit stronger and test you with that one. So it'll get to a point where maybe that type of person, you would never fall for that type of person again. But there could be another person, because there's billions of people and everybody's vessels is not love and light, and you got to know it. All right. So I wanted to drop in, you guys, to do this video to give you some of these reasons, give you some things to think about. My intentions weren't to trigger you negatively, and hopefully to trigger you positively on your journey to becoming more emotionally mature and being a better protector of yourself, right? And looking at these situations from a healthier angle that can allow you to release in a healthy manner so you can move on with your life and still obtain what you deserve. Because just because you couldn't get it from that toxic person, it doesn't mean that you can't get it. You know, you always have to remember that. If one door closes, you know, if someone was too toxic for you, that's on them. Allow people to be where they are. Don't try to change them. You have to protect yourself. Move forward. Move forward, you guys. There's something better for you. There's something better for you. All right. I love you guys. And I hope everybody is well. You know, this life is not easy. It's a big classroom and we are all imperfect, which means we all have things to learn. Once you know yourself well enough, you will know some of your blind spots, and it's your responsibility to work on yourself to get it to a point to where it's not a blind spot once you're aware of it. And then you increase your emotional maturity to help manage yourself in these areas, because there may be some things about you that could be a lifelong journey. You know, it could be a lifelong journey. Maybe it'll get better. You'll look back on it and say, well, I'm not where I used to be. And that's progression. And that's giving yourself grace, because we're not perfect people. The goal is not to be perfect, it's to be better. I'm a better version of myself today, you know, versus them trying to step into your shoes and be a better version of you. Like, you can't be nobody else, period. You know, and they have identity issues. I need to make a live chat with them to tell you guys about that. But they do have identity issues, which is why they're always trying to steal other people's. So Cynthia says, thank you for all that you do. You're very welcome. This is me being obedient, honey, because that's what God requires of me, honestly. This channel is something that he has me do, and I'm very obedient to it. And I do it the best way that I can, you know. And thank you guys, too, because I love coming on here and having these conversations. You have a blessed day, too, Cynthia. And Cynthia says, please hit the like button and support the channel, and good work. Yeah, we need to. We need to. It's been a long time here. It's been a long time coming, but there's so much helpful information here, so much love and light that I've put on this channel to help people. And, you know, the right people who are meant to cross these paths will. All right. I firmly believe that. But you guys have a great day. You know, and it's all on you. You decide if you're going to have a good day or not. And even if you start out triggered, even if you have a moment, that's a moment of your day. You still have the rest of the time in your day to say, okay, I felt this. Now I'm moving out of it. Because I'm human too. Sometimes I have moments. I'm not void of that. But they're moments. I won't let it be my whole day. All right. All right. All right, you guys, take care. I love you. I will see you in the next live chat. If there's any topics that you would like for me to talk about, I'm always open to them. You can leave them down in the chat. My email is down here in the corner. If you want to email me about something privately that you were too bashful to say on the live. But the live chats are a great way to interact with me, and you can ask questions about your situations, and I'll help you the best way that I can. All right. With that being said, continue to, be there for yourself, or basically never abandon yourself, and improve upon yourself. All right. Take care, you guys, and I will see you in the next live chat.